What's going on? Just wanted to go live tonight, see how people were doing, see how things were, what's popping out there. You know, uh, the class sizes have been picked back up to 80, about 80, I would say. So it's kind of good that we got that going on. And hey, Muhammad, what's going on? And Kenworth Rider, hey, Kenworth Rider, he trifected. What's going on, Kiersey? But yeah, everything's going good. Just did a tire run to Arkansas today. It was fun. I did not know that they redid the 49 through there, so it's like nice and new, and it goes all the way through now. I mean, like, that was nice. So we were chilling on a nice road. Whenever I told my student when we took off, I said, man, we're gonna be curvy up and down. So it was real cool to see that the 49 looks a lot better over there, and they got it opened up. But things are going good. Just doing the training. Pre-trip. People always have problems with pre-trip. I'm hearing a ton of people come up to me and say, hey, I've been watching your pre-trip videos and they are awesome and they help me pass my tests. So like, that is great. I always tell people, hey man, you got to check out like how I point at stuff. Like, you need to start pointing at the items like I do in my pre-trip video. So, it's awesome. Saw a video of a prime truck hitting a 12-foot bridge. Hans, I don't think they were reading their signs if they hit a 12-foot bridge. So we need people that are reading their signs better. And stuff happens. I mean, accidents happen. As the company gets bigger and we have more trucks on the road, then you're going to see a lot more prime trucks in an accident. It's just the law of average. So more trucks out there, more chance of one of the prime trucks being involved in an accident. Now, one of the big things on that is that we have the word prime real big on it. So everybody's going to be like, oh, that's prime. Trucking along with Kiershi says, I got screwed on miles this week, but a nice 2,700 miles from Tennessee to Oregon. Yeah, Kiersey, whenever I went over the road solo, I felt the same way. I ran out for like 10 days and I only got like 2,500 miles and I was not happy. I know I got stuck at the Black Hole Springfield twice, and I know that I got stuck 24 hours in a truck stop because of the paperwork, but I don't know what's up with that. Like, you think that there would be so much freight right now that people are just running hard, and like from what they were telling us is that Prime's turning down a ton of loads. So, I mean, it sucks that happened to you. You will recover though, and hopefully you'll get that TNT finish still in the same amount of time you thought. What's going on, Mr. Green? Oh, I guess Bearded Trucker 302 said, yeah, he's seen it on TikTok. What's going on, Peg Leg? How's it going, brother? And I'm getting a lot of messages that people are coming to Prime now too. So like, it's good that people are watching my videos and they're actually like, hey man, I did a lot of research and I watched a lot of your videos and I found out a lot of helpful information on there, and like, it inspired me to come here. Like, that makes me feel good, and it makes me feel good that you took my advice and you went out there and searched the companies and did a lot of research, and that you've seen how much better Prime would be for your situation. So, I mean, that's awesome. Like, it's great meeting new people and having them tell me, hey, you're one of the channels that inspired me to come here. And I'm all like, oh man, thanks for watching. Like, it's just awesome. Kenworth Rider's home now and waiting on a TNT trainer. Yeah, Kenworth Rider, I'm sorry I was busy the other day. Like, I was testing out two students I was in 2 students in a row. I was kind of busy, but I wish I could have more time just to sit there and hang out and vape and talk to you a while. But it was awesome meeting you and putting a face to a name. Rob, what's going on? It's been a while since I heard from you, Rob. How's things going? Trailblazer. Twisted, what's up, brother? Truck in the shop. Gotta love internationals. Yeah, internationals. Ugh. I mean, it could be any truck, but internationals do tend to hit the shops more. Matthew got cleared today. Get an ID tomorrow. Can't wait to start PSD training in Springfield. Man, that's awesome. I know it feels good when you get that ID card and you go to the pad the first time and just wait till they give you the tour of the actual Millennium. So you seen the campus and you're all like, man, this place is kind of it's the hood over here, kind of. Or, I wouldn't say necessarily the hood, but you're all like, man, this campus kind of is not that great. And then you get to come over to the Millennium and your eyes get big because you're all like, they got a basketball court. Oh, spoiler alert. They got a basketball court in here. They got a movie theater. Wow. You're about to be surprised. Like your mind's going to be blown. Hey, Jeff, what's going on, Jeff? Jeff's doing great. He went to another company. He had a bad experience at Prime. And he if he ever shares it on his YouTube, that's cool, but he had like a bad experience at Prime, so he went to another company to something to make him happy. And I'm proud of him. He's over there doing his trucking and he's enjoying himself. I'm in Bearded Truckers in Orientation Prime at Pittston. Oh yeah, Pittston's nice. They got some really great people over there. Richard Brock, Blake's over there. They got some great trainers over there too. Hans, question: when driving with a trainee who has a CDL, is that considered team driving, and a trainer needs to be up front in the passenger seat or the sleeper berth after driving? Okay, so it depends on if you're talking about a student that just upgraded from PSD and just fresh got his CDL, as he's a licensed driver, so he's ready to go TNT. It's up to the trainer. If he wants to run super solo for a while, the trainer, that means like they're both going to be awake. They're getting used to how each other drives, stuff like that. And I did not mute my phone, but they start getting used to how each other drives and they get used to being in the truck with each other, and so they can trust each other more. Then they'll both stay up until that happens. Once that happens, then the trainer's going to be asleep. The new driver's going to be in the seat driving his shift out. It's about a level of trust there. You guys at Prime, you definitely got to have Twisted be your trainer. I wish I did that. Yeah, Jeff, man, I was like shocked and kind of hurt that you weren't on my truck being my student, man. I was all like, Jeff's here and he didn't ask me to train him. I was like, dang. But I wish I did, man. I really did. Kicking back, watching the Mets on the Cardinals. Getting ready for storm season. Yeah, I think all next week is supposed to be raining. Yeah, Jeff, you're right. The Millennium building is awesome. Pegleg has Prime stuck a deal with Kenworth. They are even a bit as good as Peterbilt. No, as far as I know, I have not heard anything about striking a deal with Kenworth to get Kenworth's trucks. I think we're pretty much just sticking with what we have. I seen that we got some more Volvos in, but I don't know if they went to company drivers or somebody ordered them or what it was. The food's pretty awesome and the coffee all over the property. Yeah. Oh, hey, you coffee drinkers, let me tell you, I don't think that there's a building or a floor or an area that does not have coffee around Prime. Us Prime drivers, I guess we are some coffee loving people. I even seen Stan Casterkey over there the other day. Stan, such a nice guy. I guess somebody might have not known how to make coffee, or he just said, you know what, I'm going to get over here and make the coffee today. But I was watching him. He took out the trash. He went and put the trash in the dumpster, came back in, put a new bag in there, made it fresh coffee. Like that was awesome. Like, what company has their boss or the guy over the training department, like one of their bigwigs, come out, say, oh, the trash needs to be empty the trash, start making fresh coffee. I mean, that is awesome that he did that. Like, I was like, man, that is super cool. Whoa, Hans, the weekly donation. Man, I feel guilty over here, Hans. Like, thank you first off, but I feel guilty, man. I do appreciate it. Kenworth Rider says, Twisted Big D, JW text me today why I went home. I got the expectation from Prime administration. There weren't any TNT trainers available, so had to make a command decision to go home. Yeah, and that's what happened. Kenworth Rider, I was reading that again, making sure I read it right. So what I'm being told, and what my students are being told right now, because I just tested somebody out. So what I've been told is that they're telling people after their test, they are sending the email, the guys checking to see if they have a TNT trainer available for them. And what he's telling them is, you can wait here to see if we get one for you, or you can go ahead and go home, because after a week of being here and we can't find you a trainer, we're going to send you home anyway. So you might as well go ahead and go home until we get you a trainer. And I'm hearing that the average is 3 weeks wait for a trainer. So and Kirsty says that she ran solo for a week, or unless I did the PSD with that person. So that's how she does it when she gets when she's doing TNT. So if she doesn't know the person, she's going to do a week of solo. And then after that, they're going to run team. But if she did the PSD part, then she's been awake the whole time that the person's been driving, and she knows what they're capable of and what they're not capable of. So she feels comfortable enough to go ahead and go to sleep and let them drive their shift and immediately start running a team truck. That's a great experience, because that is a TNT trainer for reals. Like, here she has done TNT. She's done a lot of them. She has more experience in TNT than I do. I see you, Jeff. Yeah, man. I was kind of upset that you weren't on my truck, man. Whenever you were here, and I was like, oh man, I wish you, Jeff, you didn't put me on the application. I wanted to train you, man. You've been through all my lives. Kirsten says Prime can't get the KWs. We brought 10-day cabs for Intermobile. Kenworth is only allowing reorders to prior customers. Therefore, we can only reorder 10-day cabs. Yeah, they're buying those day cabs for the Intermobile division, and at least they're getting something different to see. Let me try to get catched up. Be prepared for rain. Yeah, definitely. And Brian, what's going on, Brian? Sounds like too many students, not enough trainers, which is kind of crazy. Yes. For a training company, for us to be swarmed like this, and a lot of it was because that new rule came into effect, that the federal government said, hey, before you can train a brand new person with a permit, you're going to have to have your CDL with 2 years of experience. And that right there shut down a lot of people that were at Prime that was training. It kind of made it where they couldn't train the PSD part no more. And a lot of people that used to do PSD TNT, they quit doing it because they're all like, I only want a PSD student that I taught, which makes sense. They really don't want to do one that somebody else taught because they might have to break their habits. They don't know what they're getting. They don't know how the person is. They haven't built that relationship with the person. If you pick up a PSD student and take them TNT, you don't know what you're getting until you get to the house to pick them up. And then you're all like, you talk to them for a minute or two, and then you got to hit the road because you're usually under a load. So you got to be like, hey, we got to go. Like, you don't really get to sit there and say, are we going to get along or are we not going to get along? Let me get to know you better. It's like, let's go. So that's another good reason that I always tell people, do the super solo, do the solo driving, the super solo something. That way y'all get to know each other. Jeff says, it's a rumor that they are putting guys with 6 months of experience as trainers. Someone said that in a group just yesterday, acting negative towards Prime. I love to tell them the difference. Okay, whenever they say that, trainers, TNT trainers, because I'm an instructor, so I instruct somebody how to drive the truck, how to back the truck, and how to do pre-trip. But a TNT trainer can have 6 months or less. A TNT trainer, they're pretty much somebody that is going to teach somebody like the paperwork and stuff like that. Like, you already got the CDL. By the time you get to them, you're good. It all depends on your company's policy whenever it comes to teaching somebody like the ropes, like your OJT or whatever. So what it is that a TNT trainer can have 6 months of experience, and they're allowing them to become TNT trainers so they can help out with the TNT problem, because we got lots of TNT students. So definitely, it's in a way, Jeff, there are guys out there that are doing TNT with just 6 months of experience. And, they're not teaching somebody how to drive a truck or back it in the regards of getting a CDL. They're just kind of showing them the ropes of the business. Like, hey, this is how we do paperwork. This is how we talk to shippers. This is, it's a lot of stuff like that. The actual TNT training part and getting conditioned to used to driving those 12-hour shifts. Kenworth Rider says, thanks, Steve, for being honest with me on the wait with TNT trainers. I wish Prime administration would tell me that up front. Yeah, and, like right now, they're even playing it by ear. So the administration really don't want to put out anything like, hey, this is what it's going to have. This is about how long. Because if they say, hey, it takes about 3 weeks till you get a TNT trainer, and it takes 4 weeks, you're going to be mad at them. You're going to be like, you said 3 weeks and it took 4 weeks. So, they're just trying to give a good average time about, like, they can't, it's not set in stone that it's only 3 weeks, because if somebody doesn't match up with you, then, they're still going to wait for somebody that can match up with you and be a better match, that y'all will get along better. Chugging along with Kirsty says, I honestly, I didn't feel confident as a TNT trainer until I hit 2 years. As a PSD, I didn't feel confident until Twizted taught me. Kirsty, you were confident. You trained students before I kind of helped you, and I didn't even help you that much. Like, you already knew what to do. I gave you some tips and kind of, hey, this is what you need to know. But Kirsty, you seem like you had it under control before I talked talk to you, or I feel like you already had it under control. You just needed a little bit of guidance of like, hey, I didn't know about this, so I gave you the useful knowledge that you needed. That's right, Hans. He says he's shocked because Kiersey's a super trucker. Federal government wouldn't responsible regulations if it ran over the Mack trucks. Yeah. Trucking along with Kiersey says the TNT with depends on who you want. If you were a female non-smoker, the wait's longer than any gender, any smoker preferences. Okay, yes. And that's true too. Like it also the wait might be longer for certain peoples because they want to be with a certain gender or smoker, non-smoker type of environment. So sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Matthew says they don't tell you anything at all. Just hurry up and wait. Get them ready for the job. Yeah, and they kind of expect your PSD trainer to tell you this stuff, or somebody. They're expecting somebody to just word of mouth tell you, and that's pretty much how it goes right now. Now, my last student that tested out, they said about a week, and they said might as well go home. It might take about 3 to 4 weeks, but it's better if you just go ahead and go home and just wait there. And also, that'll give you some time to go kick back with the family, go to that lovely DMV, and wait in that line to get your permit changed over to a CDL. That way, if you have a bunch of trouble with that, which some people have trouble with that, I've been seeing that, hearing that a lot of people's been having troubles getting their CDL, their permit switched to CDL and stuff like that. It's been kind of a headache for a few folks. I do see a lot of my students coming in right now to upgrade, which is awesome. So, I mean, like, that is cool that I've seen some of my guys come in to upgrade. So that means we're getting trucks and there's trucks available. And that means that people are graduating from TNT to their own truck. And that means that a TNT truck is available for the next guy. Hans says, 10 years here driving trucks, still wouldn't train. Hans, is not for everybody. Training is not for everybody. Some people, they love it. They got the passion for it. They're good at it. And then some people, they're like, you know what? Solo life for me. I don't want to train no one. I just want to make my check and I want to go sleep on my truck. I want to stretch out. I want to sleep naked in my truck, or whatever they want to do in there. Because if they're by themselves in there, they can sleep naked all they want. There's no one in there to tell them not to. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. Could you imagine if you're like sleeping naked in your truck and like something happens, like your truck catches on fire or something like that, and you got run out of it real fast? Now you're naked in the parking lot. Not good. Where's your trainee at, Kiersey? Han says, where's your trainee at, Kiersey? Probably in the truck next to her or in bed. Kiersey, are you PSD or TNT trainer? Kiersey does both whenever she wants to. So she'll probably be, after she finishes her TNT, she's probably going to come back PSD training again. Kenilworth Ryder says, I've been told it is a hassle with the DMV with the CDL. So yeah, there's been some hassle with it since these new changes. So definitely, as soon as you get home after you pass your test, go ahead and jump in that DMV and see what's up. See if there's going to be any issues. That way you can get it all fixed before you go on to TNT, before that trainer calls you. So yeah, definitely try to get that CDL taken care of because we don't want to lose it or anything like that. We don't want to have to retest. Officially Wally. Sure isn't for everyone. I try. I'm tired of humans. I couldn't see myself training TNT. Yeah, it's not for everybody. TNT is really hard. Like I've done it twice, and I was like, oh, I don't know what I got myself into. Like, my first student was pretty good that I did TNT with, and my second one, we had a good time, but I really did not get much sleep. My second one, I really did not get much sleep because he didn't learn nothing from his TNT guy. So what happened with him? And I need to make a video sometime about it because I'll just talk about it on TNT. I'll talk about it. But what happened with him? So if you're in the live, my next video or whenever I make the video, you can just skip through it. But what happened was he went on TNT and his TNT trainer rolled the truck. So, he was asleep in the back. He said he heard the guardrail. He braced for impact. Truck flipped over. So he was in the truck. It flipped over, man. It was scary. He calls me up. He goes, "Hey, man, after my test, like he didn't say after his test, but he called me up, told me what happened. He was all like, look, dude, this happened. Like it was bad. Like, I'm okay, but it was crazy. So evidently, his trainer, I don't know what they said was the cause of it, but it was dry conditions and stuff like that. I think he probably fell asleep. So Prime let his trainer go, and I call my fleet manager up immediately, and I say, I'm coming to pick this guy up. I'm going to go pick this guy up right now. So I went and picked him up. He calls me the day I'm picking him up. He's all like, hey, my new TNT trainer's coming, and his name is the same as yours. And I said, that's odd. I said, I'll be there in like 30 minutes to pick you up. And he couldn't believe it. So he gets on the truck, and he's all like, he goes, you know what? He goes, usually whenever somebody tells you, hey, if you need anything, give me a call. He said, usually when somebody tells somebody that, man, they're full of, SH. So he was all like, they're full of it. He goes, but man, you are real. He goes, whenever I needed you, I called you and you came through. You came through. You came through. You came through so hard that you said, you know what? I got your back. I'm going to do your TNT. And it was because he was in need. His trainer rolled the truck. It wasn't his fault. Like, poor guy. Like, I couldn't imagine. I figured that if he was going to get back on a truck, if he was going to get back on a truck, that he needed to be with somebody that he could trust. So, I said, you know what? After I test out the student I got, I said, I'm going to go pick him up. I'm going to go pick him up and I'm going to finish his TNT because he doesn't deserve that. He's a good dude. He doesn't deserve that. He didn't ask me to come do his TNT. I just say, you know what? I'm going to come do his TNT because he deserves it. And I went and did it. So, TNT is hard. And his TNT trainer his TNT trainer never let him back. His TNT trainer didn't teach him the paperwork. His TNT trainer didn't teach him nothing. And I'm like, he only had 10,000 more miles to do. So I'm all like, you know what? It shouldn't be that hard. He should know the paperwork and how to back and all that by now. Like, he should know the rest of the backing. He should be confident in his backing. We're good. And boy, was I mistaken. I had to be up all the time. I said, dude, I think your trainer really fell asleep because he always had to wake up to do everything. And he goes, man, he wouldn't let me do nothing. He wouldn't teach me nothing. I would try to figure out what he's doing. He wouldn't teach me nothing. He said, when you get your own truck, you'll figure it out. I said, he didn't let you back at all? He goes, nah, he didn't let me back. I was like, dude, that's horrible. And he was a family friend. Like, it was bad. My mind says trucking companies need to train with a manual transmission, not automatic transmission, since it puts a restriction on the license. Hans, actually, a lot of people, when we first went to automatics, you already knew what kind of student I was going to get whenever they first came to my truck, and they said, "Are you manual or automatic?" And I said, "I'm an automatic truck." And they're all like, "Oh, thank God, I did not want to drive manual." And right there, I already knew that I was going to have a scared student that was going to be freaking out all the time. And that's usually what happened is I had the really scared student. I think I liked it better when we had the manual guys. They weren't scared of nothing when they came in here. I felt like, that fear will do strange things to you. I tell my guys all the time, the scariest part of this whole situation is getting on that bus, leaving your family, leaving your career, leaving your job, whatever you had, leaving everything and coming here, losing everything, giving up everything and coming here for a chance. That's the scariest part. Now that you're here, commit to it. You made your decision. You got past the scary part. It's time to do it. Like Nike, I wear Nikes. Nike slogan, just do it. Always worried about trucks catching on fire. What would cause that? Probably somebody smoking in bed, electrical problem, lots of stuff. I mean, freak accident, lightning strike your truck. I don't know, something crazy. Whenever I was younger, my dad sold the house that we lived in because we moved, and he sold it to our neighbor's son. And a freak accident happened, and lightning struck a tree, and the tree fell on a piece of the tree branch fell on the roof of the house. And my neighbor, it was a sad story, but he lost 2 kids in that fire. And like whenever it happened, he was in a room that was by the back door, and he wasn't thinking. He just jumped out, and then he tried it, or actually he jumped out the window because he couldn't get out in the hallway. That's what happened. He jumped out the window. Then he wasn't thinking about it. He could hear his kids screaming in there. They were screaming it for him, "Daddy," like "Dad, Dad, Dad," and he kicked the back door in, and it like exploded. Boom, knocked him on his back, and his kids burned alive in there. And it was a freak accident from lightning. So, you never know what could set a fire. It's sad. I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine hearing my kids scream for me like that. Like, I mean, it had to be a nightmare. But that's something. Whenever I was younger, my dad was talking to them on the phone, and like, you could hear everything that was going on, and I was like, dang, he could hear them scream for him. It's sad. It was bad. My heart went out to them. Hans seen a driver driving naked. Hans, stop peeking through people's windows when they're driving, man. Check your mirrors. Look in front of you. Check your mirrors. Nothing says look in that dude's truck and see what he got going on in there. Stop gazing in people's trucks and you won't see people naked. Official. I'm just kidding, Hans. Wally says, in Florida, they're lazy. CDL capital to get the results from your county that winds up with me at Kenworth Rider. Okay, so there's a little bit of the answer for you, Kenworth Rider. Call me Coach J. Is it possible to be a TNT trainer and go off OTR when you want? Yes, you can do that. Your fleet manager is going to beg you to come back to TNT training because you're making more money and he's making more money though. So, oh wow, another super chat from Hans. $10. He says, "Have a good night. Time to get a bite to eat, shower, then drive all night." Hey, be safe tonight, brother. Be safe. And thank you again for both of the super chats. Let me go back up. Is it possible to be yes, it is. I answer that. Jeff, he's right. He's riding shirtless too. Jeff's probably out there flexing his arms and stuff when he sees the girls and stuff. He's all like, he sees some girls out there and they're all like, honk the horn, and he's all shirtless in there and he's just flexing. Beep, beep. I see you, Jeff, flexing for those people. I don't think there's no law that says you have to wear a shirt in a truck. I don't know. Hans says big risk. Think a DEF system. Think California for that. Yeah, California and that DEF system. I get asked all the time, what is DEF? Diesel exhaust fluid. Yes, I do. You should have told me. Kenworth Rider, I would have gave you one too. I forgot. I remember now. I was going to give you one of the hats, but my student was out on the drive, and then I didn't see you again. Or no, I had to put my truck back on the pad to test out again, and I didn't see you after that. I was going to bring you one because I had it in the truck. I have I think I have 4 of them left right in my truck too. Trainers like that guy are bad for the industry. Yeah, I agree. I think that the students should be doing everything. Good thing is that y'all know Jesus takes the wheel. One of my guys that comes in here a lot and one of my old students. So I was talking to the student that just got off of his truck that's upgrading, and I'm gonna talk good about Jesus because it made me proud. I was proud today. I forgot to text him. Oh, he called me earlier and I was in Arkansas and I couldn't talk. I got to call him back. But he made me proud because my student said, bro, Jesus, he said, man, every time we got somewhere to back in, he would be like, hey, get in the seat, back in. He goes, he was just like you. He was just like you. He was like, hey, get in the seat, back it in, back it in. He goes, man, I'm telling you, man, he's a good trainer. And he talked good about him. So it made me feel really good, like just hearing that, like Jesus is doing work out there. And I've never doubted him. He's always been a good trainer. I believe that he's great. Like he is blunt and he's straight up. And that's what we really need is somebody that's telling somebody that they're messing up when they mess up. I'm very blunt too, and I tell my students all the time when they're messing up. And some of them are all like, "I appreciate it." And then some of them are all like, "Man, I'm frustrated. Like you're getting me mad, telling me how I mess up all the time. I can't figure it out." I'm like, "Well, I'm just trying to explain it to you." I like the automatic transmission. It's stress relieving. Yeah, and the automatic, if you're not holding steady pressure on that pedal, you're gonna be bouncing that truck all over the place, and it's not fun in there. Brian says, how do you feel about the truck stops they are building in Georgia where you can't have any motors running? Ooh, I did not know that. I wonder, are they talking about the APUs also? I haven't heard about that. I'm gonna have to look into that. That doesn't sound like it's good though. This reserve parking is getting out of control too. I went to a pilot today. Every spot in there was reserve parking, and I was like, man, this little hole in the wall pilot, it's all reserve parking. I said, I remember how hard it was to get into a spot in this thing and like how horrible of a truck stop it was. What are they doing with the money for paid parking? They should be able to expand it or make it better something. It was still the same trucks, still the same bad pilot that I've been in before. It was ridiculous. Big Rig says Hans looking at people driving naked. Oh man. Y'all thought that was funny? Next time I see you, I'll hit you up. Yeah, for sure. Definitely do that. Because who knows? I might still have them. Jesus takes the wheel. Not the wheel, Jesus. Hey, Million Mile Man. Another TNT trainer. See, y'all had TNT questions. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Million Mile Man. From what I've heard from like about 2 or 3 of his students, and they say he is a great TNT trainer. Like I hear nothing but good things. And I see it on Facebook whenever some people that had them spoke up in some chats before. Like, they nothing but good things about Million Mile Man on TNT training. Like, I hear nothing but good things. Still got to meet you someday too. Seen it on Mother Truckers. I'll have to check that out because I haven't heard nothing about it. But dude, that's horrible. Georgia's the worst place not to have your APU running too. Like, ugh. The humidity and the heat in the summers. Ah, man. Hey, anytime, Million Mile Man. We gotta meet up sometime when you're in Springfield. I would love to meet you and pick your brain a little bit. Dude, reserve parking. Why can't they just add like 100 spots to each truck stops? This is out of hand. Yeah, it's only going to get worse. I think the paid parking. I think pretty soon, if I had to guess, pretty soon, every truck stops, every spot in it's going to be paid parking, and it's going to be horrible. Hey man, how can one be a great TNT trainer? Hey, I don't train TNT, but Million Mile Man does. So that's who you need to talk to right there. Send him an email because from what I hear, that guy is doing good work. In my opinion, to be a great TNT trainer is have your student do all the backing, even if you have to walk them through every step. Try to not talk to them as much while you're walking it through them. That way they get a true feeling of the backing and stuff like that. Make sure you're showing them how to do the paperwork, taking them in places with you. You know, that's what you need to do. Not every time they need a back in. Wake me up and I'll back it in for you. No, that's not right. Million Mile Man says he has a son with him now. Yes, and I met your son. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. Your son told me, yeah, he put me with the best trainer, PSD trainer we have at Prime. He put me with Kiersey, and I was like, yeah, she might be the best, but I was like a little hurt on that. I was a little hurt. That hit me hard. I was like, the best one we have, Kiersey. At least he could have told me you're the second best. I mean, like, it would have been nicer. He put me with the best PSD trainer they have at Prime, Kiersey. I mean, no disrespect to Kiersey because I think the world of her. Like, she is great, but I was like, man, I shot to the heart. Like, he didn't even know who I was. I was like, wow. Kiersey told him who I was, but I was like, oh, he doesn't even know me. Like, I felt this big that day. Great kid though, like, or not kid, young man. He's a great young man, not kid. No disrespect. I did not mean kid. Long Haul Gypsy was one of his trainees, I think. Million Mile Man says yes, sir. So yeah, guess so. Piglet says I learned to drive trucks on a manual. Autos are nice for city traffic, but I want to stick on the floor in the mountains. But the manuals are anti-theft devices. For millennials, they're anti-theft devices. That's funny. But yeah, like the manuals are actually now that I've learned a lot about my manual, like I think I'm fine with it even in the mountains and stuff. I feel safe in it. Good. Be a good trainer. Don't be a jerk, and just be patient. Yeah, and that goes for any trainer out there, not only TNT, just anybody that wants to be in the teaching. Like, you got to be patient. That's one of the hardest things to do. Easier said than done. Is being patient's real easy to say, but it's hard to do. Oh, you did tell him about me? He just didn't. He had like he didn't know me. Kiersey was all like, "Hey guys, this is Twizted. He was the instructor of the year." I was like, "Shh, shh, instructor, calm down." I was just like, "Hey," and then he was all like, "Yeah, I'm Million Mile Man's son." And he put me with the best BSD trainer that Prime has, Kiersey. And I was like, whoa. And she was all like, that's Twizted Big D right there. He taught me. And I was like, I didn't teach you. I said, hey, y'all, all of you guys over here. I said, Kiersey trained me how to do this. I said, she's the best. You know, that way they know that she taught me how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I make stuff up as I go. Ask her. Every time she's been out there, she's probably seen me tell my students a different way to back every time. Like one day I'm talking about pouring some salt on some food for backing. I'm all like, just put some salt on it. The next day I'm all like, hey, like next time she's out there with the next batch of students, I'm all like, it's like robbing a convenience store. You want to turn the wheel all the way? And then you took a big risk getting in there. You know, people get caught because they go in there and they're like, we want all the big bills. You know, that's how they get caught. So if you just go in there and grab the whole drawer, get all of it, you can get out of there faster. You won't get caught if you're out of there faster. So when you turn the wheel all the way, make it happen faster. And make sure as you start backing, you turn it the rest of the way to get all the money out the register. You know, I got different stuff. Like, I just make up some stuff as I go sometimes. Like, you know, I had a cook and we made recipes out there. Like, I had to write down the backing maneuvers as recipes. Like, that was fun. Like, you put that one tire, it goes past that line, it's psh, then you flip the stake over, psh, you get the backside of it. The other day, my student told me he was backing out there and he goes, I said, what did you change, man? Because all of a sudden you're knocking those parallels out. He goes, well, I play pull. So like I was thinking of it like pull, and he was explaining it to me. And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about, but as long as you understand it, I'm happy with it. Like, go ahead and do that. I definitely do that. But I had no idea what he was talking about. He was talking about pull. I was all like, I even thought about it for a while. I was like, the pull stick is straight and you hit a ball that bounces off. We definitely don't want to be hitting nothing with the trailer. So if the stick is the trailer, the ball might be the truck. We don't want to hit the trailer on the truck. I had no idea what he was talking about. To me, it was all like, okay, whatever you say. But if he knew exactly how to back it in there because he's seen it like that and it's working for him and he's not hitting nothing and he's being safe, I'm like, that's what you need to do. Like sometimes I tell my students all the time, I'm all like, hey, you know, sometimes it sounds like I'm speaking Spanish out here or some other language, but by the end of your training, you're going to understand what I'm saying. And then next thing you know, one of my students will be teaching my new guy or one of my guys struggling. He'll be like, oh, what you need to do? You got the truck on this far of the side. You need to turn it this way to move the front. And then you get the back in front of it. And then you do this and down the line and boom, you're done. And I'm all like, well, he knows what he's talking about, but you're just as confused as I am with what he said. But everything he did, the way he was walking backwards and turning the wheels and stuff, it was all correct. So, like, hey, he knows what he's talking about. He can't explain the maneuver to you, but he knows what he's talking about. So, you know, it's just cool watching people, like, turn into, like, the trainer all of a sudden. Like, they're all, like, helping the other guys out. Like, it's really cool. It's like a real good team going on. Kenwer says, if you want a dedicated and is passionate with his training, Twizted Big D is the guy to have. I am witness to that. See, I didn't even know Kenworth was watching me train. He was over there with his trainer on the pad next to us, and I just have my guys over there doing their things. And, you know, hey, this and this and this and this, and like just letting my guys have a heyday with it. I don't even remember who was in the truck or nothing, but I was talking to his trainer, and we were just talking. Then all of a sudden, he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, I'm Kenworth Ryder." I was like, "Oh, wow. Hey, man, it's great to meet you." Like, it was cool. But I guess he was paying attention to what I was doing out there and he's seen it. Justin. Wow, that's a name I haven't seen. Justin Callahan. Man, how have you been? It's been a long time. Holy cow. I remember when Justin was on my truck. Hello, I learned this guy. He is awesome. I learned from this guy. He is great. So we corrected it. Yeah. Oh, wow. I have not seen your name in a long time. I hope TNT was great for you and you're on your own making some money and hopefully still with Prime. But yeah, we have a good time out there. I mean, we really do. We try to. At first, my guys are all like, "Man, this guy right here, he is super strict and he's like hardcore." Like, you know, sometimes it's better to like take somebody out the truck whenever they're doing bad. So like the first time I take somebody out the truck because they're not paying attention and they're not listening and they're not trying to do what I say, I'm like, "Hey, dude, get out the truck. Just get out the truck." And one of my students right now, man, he's actually became like at first he was just like really nervous about being in the truck, and it felt like, and he was real shaky. Like not he wasn't trembling or nothing, but he was like you could tell he was nervous on how he drove and how he backed. And I was all like, "Man, I don't know about this guy." Well, this first day he was pumping the brakes like crazy. I was all like, "Dude," I said, "You're Machine Gun Kelly in that brake." I said, "Get out of the truck." I said, "You just chill out today, man. You just chill." And like I forgot about that. That's been like last week. I forgot about it that it even happened. Well, he brought it up today. He was all like, "Man, remember when you kicked me out the truck?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot about that." He's all like, "You kicked me out the truck because I was smashing that pedal as fast as I could." And I started laughing and I was all like, "Yeah." I said, "You know what you did the next day? You came in there and you stayed off of that brake pedal. And guess what? You learned. You could see how the truck was moving, how the trailer was moving, and you learned a ton by staying off that brake, which I was trying to get you to do." So, sometimes it's better to if you're gonna sit there and like kind of fight it, sometimes it's better for me just to be like, "Get out the truck, just chill out for a while." That way you clear your mind and you're all like, "Man, he's right. I was doing that. I was doing this too." But the guy now, oh man, he's good. He's good. He's became one heck of a good backer. Like he's good. And the funny thing is he's all like, "Man, I talked to some other guys out there and they're telling me how they're backing, they're telling me what they're doing." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, then they tell me, they say, "Well, how does your trainer tell you to do it?" And he says, "My trainer says, there's the spot, put it in there." And they're all like, "Well, which way does he tell you to turn the wheel? Does he tell?" He goes, "No." And he goes, whenever I ask him, I go, "Hey, which way do I need to turn the wheel?" He says, "I don't know." So like he's just, "Hey, we put it in there." So he comes in today and he's all like, "Man, talking to this guy, they're backing this way, they're doing this, they're doing that." He goes, "I don't understand what he's talking about, but man, whenever I tell them, 'Hey, my trainer just tells me to put it in the spot,'" he goes, "I feel like I'm just flexing." He goes, "Man, that's the superest, biggest flex I can do." Whenever I'm all like, "Yeah, I just put it in the spot. That easy." They're all like, "Oh, you can't do that." I show them. It's funny, but it's awesome though. Like seeing what people become. Like this, it's cool. I got a test tomorrow morning, and I got another test on. Dang, I got a test on Wednesday. I got a test on Thursday. Pretty busy week. So I'll be getting 2 more students this week. What I really like about Prime is safety is priority, and you're the captain of your ship model. Yeah, and they're all about safety here, and it feels good that a company cares about you, and You're just not another name in a truck here. You're not just a truck number. You're an actual person. Justin says, my mentals got to me when I was out there, so not with Prime anymore, but I am doing better. Oh, that's right, Justin. I remember talking to you after that. I remember. I remember. My bad. Yeah, I remember. Hey man, we need to talk sometime again. Like, hit me up tomorrow. We'll talk. Get caught up on each other, man. I'm really curious how you been. Brian says, trying to kick the nerves is what I'm working on. Brian, just chill out, man. Like the nerves, forget the nerves. Like you got on a scary Greyhound, or you got in your car or whatever. You came all the way here. If you had enough nerves to get on a bus or come all the way to Springfield and give up everything you knew, if you got over those nerves, this truck and trailer ain't nothing. It's nothing. So, the scariest part is getting here. Rudy, how much is it going to be set up in your truck? How much was the gaming setup in my truck? Oh, I don't know. Where's the calculator? Let's see. How much is the Xbox One? We'll say the Xbox One costs $250 because I don't know how much they cost. And the TV was probably what, like $300, we'll say. And then my Nighthawk router, when I bought it brand new, and it was like, I want to say it was like, we'll just say 200 because I think it was like 120 or 140 or something like that. So, you add all that together. Oh, plus my Fire Stick, which was like $40. So we'll say like $800. Ain't too bad. So I think that was pretty much how much it cost. And then I have like, like some cheap ratchet straps. I don't know how much those cost, but I don't think it's too much money, especially if you already have an Xbox. And if you already had a TV, that's even better. Yeah, I did. Brown trifected. Whenever I was talking to you at the picnic tables, Brown was on the road. So yeah, he tested out, he trifected. He was out on a drive and he was super happy whenever he got back. So yes, Kenworth Rider, I have Brown. He's a good student, man. He's a real good guy. Like, congratulations to him if he watches this live later on. Congratulations, you did it. Cool, thanks, Rudy. Chilling at the Food Lion, DC, in Virginia, going 4.5 hours waiting. Go to sleep. You might get a 10-hour break. You're almost halfway there. That way, if you get a 10-hour break, you're ready to roll. Get your next load, get that money rolling. When back and I found out it was better to make small corrections, go big or go home, and the corrections was out of the window. Yeah, I call it Snoop Dogging. So there's a music video, Drop It Like It's Hot. Snoop Dogg's dancing in it. So that's what I call Snoop Dogging. I'm all like, what are you doing Snoop Dogging in there? So I listen to Warren G, Regulators. You got to regulate yourself. So small wheel turns, regulate. Bakersfield, California in the house. I like Bakersfield. It reminds me of my hometown, Lubbock, Texas. It reminds me of that. Oh, he was hey, I still got Dennis. Dennis was your classmate too. I still got Dennis. Dennis tests out in the morning. They both learn the same way. Truthfully, like I knew that they were both gonna pass. or I thought they were both gonna pass. You know, my money was on, you know, my money was on Dennis, but Dennis had a accident in his test that he got one too many points on his backing, so he gets to redo it. Unfortunately, great guy, awesome guy, really cool guy. Like I was more like sad than I think he was when he fell, because like I took a lot of pride like in Dennis. Like I was all like, man, Dennis got this. Like I was real happy and impressed with Dennis. I still am. He's gonna pass tomorrow, you know. Mama says, I leave next week, head to PA for orientation. Any advice? Soon as you get the pre-trip packet, start studying pre-trip. Start studying pre-trip as soon as you get it. Go in there, listen to everything they have to say, and just have some fun. You know, you should be having fun out there when you're back and stuff like that. Just have fun with it. Well, guys, I'm going to get up in the morning. It's been an hour. Usually I try to get out of here after an hour of a live. And plus, I usually go to bed at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go to bed and get ready for my test tomorrow. It depends. How many times do you get a test? It depends. It depends on the whole situation. There's a lot that goes into it. I've tested a guy 5 times. That's my max, is 5 times. Trying to get out of here. I seen a couple Prime trucks today when I was rolling through Grapevine. I didn't know Prime had a tanker division. Yes, we do. And one more question. If you go flatbed, is your tent a flatbed trainer? I guess you meant at your TNT. Most of the time, your TNT will be a flatbedder if they have one available. If not, then you're going to go with a reefer, and then you can take the boot camp. But right now, I heard that there's plenty of. I hear the wait time for a flatbedder to go on TNT is short. I hear that they're getting called right before they test. That's how short of a waiting list the flatbedder has right now. But I'm out of here. Good night, people, and thanks for stopping by. Don't forget, Thursday, write down those questions, because I'm coming back Thursday, and I'm hoping to bring Tennessee flatbedder out here again, either in the studio or through the World Wide Web. So I'm out of here. Peace. It was a good live. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. I appreciate all the comments and everything. Like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell. Get my latest lives. Get my newest videos. Also, in the description, there's a link to fill out an application and get my recruiter. My recruiter's good. Don't forget to drop that referral code, COXDJO. Also, my phone number is 417